Look at the ancient world. While Egypt and Mesopotamia command the historical spotlight, their actual geographical footprints are dwarfed by the activity occurring further east. This is the Indus Valley Civilization. At its peak, it covered roughly 1.29 million square kilometers. Its borders stretched from Manda in the northern mountains down to Daimabad in the south. Westward, it reached Sutkagen Dor near the Iranian border and moved east to Alamgirpur. Radiocarbon dating pinpoints the mature phase of this massive network between 2300 and 1750 BC. Usually, an ancient empire of this size leaves behind architectural signatures. Mesopotamian societies built massive ziggurats designed to project the absolute power of a ruler. In Egypt, immense labor was poured into royal tombs, exactly like the pyramids. Dig into the Indus Valley, however, and those monuments are absent. There are no royal tombs or slave-built vanity projects. This society maintained unity across vast distances through radical, obsessive civic engineering. When a civilization covers 1 million square kilometers with no autocrat in charge, it challenges the assumption that ancient empires required kings to function. The Harappans organized their municipal spaces into 2 functional zones. On the western side, they constructed the citadel, an elevated, fortified platform for administration. To the east lay the lower town, a lower area dedicated to the general populace. This dual-zone system was almost universal. The site of Dholavira stands as the major exception, opting instead for a 3-part municipal division. Within these zones, the layout was uncompromising. Cities were plotted on a rigid chessboard pattern, with major roads intersecting at 90-degree angles. Zoom in further, and the standardization continues. Homes were built using baked bricks laid in an interlocking pattern called the English bond, providing immense structural integrity. They also engineered these homes for privacy. Main doors and windows avoided facing the broad avenues, opening instead into narrow side alleys. Their engineering was most advanced beneath the streets. These channels running alongside the excavated avenue at Mohenjo-Daro were part of a fully covered urban drainage system. Every private residence had its own internal drain, which fed into these main covered channels and street sumps. Synchronizing this public health system across thousands of miles indicates a sophisticated municipal administration, one that prioritized collective welfare over personal monuments. Because the architecture is so uniform, the cities appear identical. However, each settlement served a specialized economic function within a broader network. Take Lothal. This excavated brick reservoir operated as the civilization's primary maritime dockyard and manufacturing hub. It was also a critical agricultural node. Excavations here provide the primary evidence of early rice cultivation in the region. Inland, the settlement of Kalibangan acted as a center for agricultural innovation, yielding the world's earliest known evidence of plowed fields. Tying this network together was Mohenjo-Daro, which functioned as the macro-level civic and religious center. This is the Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro. It measures exactly 11.8 meters long, 7.01 meters wide, and 2.43 meters deep, a public structure built with precision waterproof brickwork. They managed this vast trade network without a standard metallic currency. Instead, the Harappan economy relied on a highly regulated barter system. To make bartering reliable, they enforced a uniform system of weights, strictly multiplying in ratios of 16. This mathematical standard allowed them to conduct reliable foreign trade, exporting cotton to Mesopotamia, where they were known as the people of Meluha. By coupling specialized regional production with a rigid weight system, they built a trade network that functioned without a standing military. Physical organization was supported by a shared cultural ideology, visible in a distinct and decentralized religious iconography. Across multiple sites, excavators find terracotta mother goddess figures, pointing toward a society with strong matriarchal elements. They also recovered the Pashupati seal, which indicates early proto-Shiva worship alongside the veneration of local fauna, especially the humped bull. Their written script remains completely undeciphered. It appears etched on these steatite seals above the animal figures. The script relies on approximately 64 word signs, featuring distinct U-shapes and pictographs resembling fish. Longer texts use a booster fade-in style. The purse line is read right to left, and the next line sweeps back left to right in a continuous serpentine flow. Because we cannot read their words, we rely on rare artifacts like this priest-king bust. It suggests an elite class defined by religious or civic authority rather than military armor. With a silent script and religious icons focused on natural forces, the evidence points to a society governed by shared ideology and commerce. Across all excavated sites, there are no caches of large-scale weaponry and no kingly tombs. The historical consensus is that Harappa operated as an advanced municipal oligarchy run by a merchant class. Their collapse was not a sudden apocalyptic event. The archaeological record shows a slow regional decay. This table shows how decline theories are linked to specific scholars. Ernest Mackay and John Marshall pointed to evidence of repeated catastrophic flooding. As the table illustrates, Aurel Stein proposed a theory of severe climate change, arguing that vital river systems shifted course or dried up. At the bottom of the ledger, Gordon Childe and Mortimer Wheeler championed the highly debated theory that an external Aryan invasion dismantled the society. Modern archaeology contests the invasion theory, but Mortimer Wheeler's work dictated how we interpreted these sites for decades. Whatever the trigger, the result was a gradual decline. The civic administration lost its grip, 90-degree grids were abandoned, and the standardization faded. The foundations remaining in the dirt reflect the complexity of their non-violent engineering. The Harappan master blueprint shows that a civilization covering 1 million square kilometers can achieve peak complexity through municipal order, public health, and trade. They demonstrated that to build an empire, you do not need war, and you do not need kings.